Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for the segment, we have Kate Duchene, CEO of Nasdaq-listed RGP, to discuss the fundamental shift that we're seeing in the workforce and how operating teams are shifting their strategies to accommodate that. Kate, it is great to have you at MarketSite back in person. And, we continue to see record numbers of Americans quitting their jobs. It widened to 5.6 million in April. Even in this economy, why are we seeing such a major discrepancy between open jobs and available workers?
So I don't think that employers have really shifted what they're offering fast enough, and so you're seeing talent make different choices. The numbers that we're also seeing out of the labor reports don't capture contingent or gig workers in today's environment, and so that's where you're seeing some discrepancy in the numbers as well.
How are companies adjusting their workforce and skill acquisition strategies to make this talent shift work?
Right. So what we're seeing in our business, and we're a project execution firm that operates on a global basis, we're seeing more of our clients shift their talent strategies to be more agile, meaning they're building project teams as opposed to role-based growth. And on the talent side, we're seeing talent, shift what they want to do. They aren't signing up for full-time equivalent employment anymore. They're deciding to shift toward a more portfolio-based career. They want to engage in project work. They want to experience different brands. I started practicing my professional career, and you basically had a job for life. And IBM, for example, in their handbook you'll have a job for life. I mean, that dynamic is just so different in today's environment. People are willing to be mobile, and they're willing to be mobile because they want to get different experiences. And that's really driving talent trend today.
It's so interesting. Clearly, some of these trends were accelerated from COVID.
Yep.
We have technology disrupting everything, but it also feels like this is a cultural shift.
It is. A year ago, I was talking about this as a trend we were seeing. I don't talk about it as a trend anymore, but a foundational shift in supply and demand of labor. And that is really it's not just about surviving a global pandemic. We've seen so much social unrest, and people are reevaluating what's important in their lives, both professionally and personally, and then making choices that reflect shared values, purpose. You hear a lot more today about where purpose matters. Companies that have empathy and are listening to their talent base are those that will thrive in the future.
Tell us more about the project economy and what it means for businesses.
Yeah. So the project economy is a real shift to say, we have to disrupt faster. I mean, it used to be that disruption came from giants. Now disruption is coming from lots of startups. And so the speed and the pace of change has increased. And now companies are saying, let's make sure we have not just the right roles at the table, but the right skill set. And often you don't have that in your incumbent population. You really need to go to the external market to bring in project management, change management support, and functional expertise that's linked exactly to the project at hand. Thomas Friedman said it well once when he said, if you look around the table and you have a new project that's going to disrupt your business, you probably don't have the right talent to deliver it because it's not status quo. And that's what we see. These projects that are requiring change in organizations means that the skill sets you need to change accordingly.
Do you think the Great Resignation is driving the surge of the project economy?
I think it's both. We spend a lot of time in our business thinking about supply and demand, and macro forces are at play in both sides. Talent wants different things. They want to be more mobile. They want to be learning. And sometimes when you're stuck in a status quo job, you're not learning. And so that's not satisfactory to anyone anymore. And then companies want, as I said before, economic activity to happen through project orientation. So it's happening on both sides of the equation.
With all these converging trends and factors, what do you see as the biggest key to attaining the right talent?
I think it's listening. I mean, organizations that will thrive need to be listening organizations. And what we've learned over the past 2 years is that one size doesn't fit all. So, a talent strategy that you have for your organization now needs to be more targeted and bespoke for different populations. What we're seeing now is some of the strategies that clients, and by the way, our client base are the Fortune 500. So we're working in large global organizations who on a daily basis are confronting the war for talent. But what they're understanding is that depending upon the demographic, your policies need to evolve. So it's no longer a one-size-fits-all world.
Right. What are the challenges that Fortune 500 companies are having with this? Because these are big ships to turn around. You can't just execute on these strategies overnight.
Well, it's interesting because I'm talking about we're a provider for project-based support. So we do a lot of project management, change management, but even inside large organizations, companies are trying to be more mobile. So think about, when I started my career, there was a career path. There was a hierarchy. We talked about climbing the ladder. That's not true anymore. Even internal employees are saying, how do I get project experience? I might want to go sideways before I go up. I might take a level down because I'm going to learn a new skill that I'm really interested in. And so that mobility that's happening inside companies, it's really incumbent upon your people organization or your HR organization to listen to what talent wants and to adapt. And that means being more creative, understanding that full-time equivalents are not the only way to satisfy talent needs. We talk a lot about build, buy, or borrow. Build is a lot about what can technology do? What can it automate? Buy is traditional hiring. How do you go about that? And then borrow, understanding that the skill sets you need don't have to be wholly owned in today's economy. And who do you find that's a trusted partner to help you deliver on that strategic element?
Right. It's so interesting to watch this play out in real time and watching it evolve in real time. Kate, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.